Hi, I'm Nicole. This is Taylor. We're here with the Hot Rod Girls, and we're doing the Scooby Doo shoot.
Welcome, Nicole. Welcome, Taylor.
Hi.
And we have my brother Brian and Scott, brother. My sons Darrik and Daniel. So this all started back in 2016 when I bought the van from my brother Brian, and his idea was first to create the actual Mystery Machine and paint it blue and put the flowers and all the stuff on it and kind of do the old school look like the old cartoons. And then when I kind of came along, I didn't want to pigeonhole the van into having some sort of always Mystery Machine.
One look.
And so my idea was to kind of do a black and white version of it, kind of a grunge look of it. And then as we brought it into Spokane Hot Rod and we started doing Project TheVan, we soon realized that we wanted to have it for multiple uses. Mm-hmm. And so this is one of those uses that we were doing, and we'll end up putting Mystery Machine on the side of it, which you'll see in the videos. We've done Rat Rod stuff with it. We've done Ferrari stuff with it. We had a bunch of the models from the Spokane Hot Rod Girls doing stuff with it. And this is just one of its extra things that we're doing. So,
drag racing.
I was going to say racing.
Yeah,
Oh,
easier
yeah,
to leave
racing.
it plain though and make it the way that you want it.
And so by keeping it white and
Yeah.
keeping it neutral, it allows us to do a lot of things. So
Yeah.
when we started doing the van project, it was more of everybody thought that you had to have a $1 million car to go in hot rods and go racing and do all these things, and be your Ferraris and all this stuff. And that
Just
was the
$1
whole
million
purpose
motor.
of the van, was the fact that we could haul it basically out of a field, get it running, and then go and do all the stuff we want to do. It goes back to the same thing as having an ugly old car and doing everything imaginable without putting a ton of money into it. And so
Yeah.
this is part of that project.
You got a lot of mileage out of a $400 van.
Exactly.
We did. Scooby Doo. What it takes to be a Scooby Doo concept with that van. And it's been quite the idea of trying to make it happen with the studio. And we're lucky enough to have the studio that we can actually have a spot and a space and the lighting and the cameras and everything to pull it off and then share with everybody out there on the internet. So with the ugly white van, Nicole,
Yes. Calling me out.
I was calling you out. 'Cause, you've been with the Hot Rod Gals probably the longest out of everybody that's kind of active with us right now.
Yeah.
And
It's 14.
bringing this in, this is the first time I think you've actually shot with the van.
Yep.
And so
It
I wanted to
is.
make sure that we're trying to get as many as we can with it, obviously. But
She's dodged it up until now, but this is now, she can't escape it at this
No
point.
choice.
Yeah.
yeah, you're stuck.
2014.
That's
So
okay.
your idea of Velma, knowing what you know now and what you've seen us put together, what's your idea on the Velma thing?
I don't know.
Never's watched
I don't
Scooby Doo
know.
before.
No, I love Scooby Doo. I don't know. She's just smart and I don't know.
I feel like she's the problem solver.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
How many here at the table actually looked up like on Wikipedia or watched videos and kind of had the idea of what Scooby Doo was and all
yeah,
that?
same.
I mean, I watched it a lot as a kid,
Yeah.
so
My
I
son
mean,
watches it now, so
Yeah,
I'm going off nostalgia for
yeah,
sure.
it's
Yeah.
purely nostalgia, and for the real world Scooby Doo equivalent, the 2001 movie, as bizarre as that movie is, 2001, I think.
2002.
2002. That movie, as weird as it is, and as
funny though.
not good as it is,
I don't think I've
it
seen
really
that
kind of
one,
is the
actually.
standard for modern feeling Scooby Doo, where
right.
the characters were not too outrageous in a way, but you could instantly recognize who they were just by looking at them.
Right.
And I kind of use that as a large portion of the inspiration.
Right, not so much the cartoon. But
Yeah,
the
cartoons.
more update, yeah.
Our cartoons are cartoons, and
Right.
a lot of the things from the cartoon are so dated by this
Right.
point
Yeah.
that I don't think you can easily transfer it in today's world without a little bit of artistic liberty to modernize it. I mean, reality, who would have a van that's that old in today's world?
By choice.
By choice,
You know.
yeah.
Maybe a creeper.
Yeah.
If you had it in today's world, actually, in the real world doing real stuff like a band or an actual investigative team or whatever,
Right.
it would be a kind of a cool gimmick, but it wouldn't. I don't think it would fly in today's
It wouldn't be a
world.
daily
Too
for
loud.
anybody, yeah.
Too loud.
Yeah. No one's
Um,
gonna choose to drive it around on the day.
I would.
Well,
I don't know about you guys.
but what about like the whole idea of going places and solving mysteries is people don't have that freedom that you would have had back in the day, where you could just show up and do something like that.
Like, what are you doing?
Exactly, where they would
Why
just
are
kind of
you
let you
guys
do that.
You're on the same team?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's us.
So Taylor, Daphne, you're looking at the Wikipedia stuff and the old cartoons and then the movie and stuff. You're looking at, the good-looking gal that wanted to be a model and that always found herself in problems, always
She's the
had
it
issues.
girl, but always the issue too.
Now, one concept that we had toyed with was doing like an apocalyptic style, which I guarantee things would look a lot different for all of you.
Yeah.
More grungy, more whatever. I see you guys kind of played with the concept of the cartoon theme more than the actual old van style. So it's gonna be fun. I'm glad all you kind of look the same.
Stuck with
I think part of the issue is the designs for the ladies. You have a lot more freedom with
Right.
it.
I think so too.
Where
Yeah, you're stuck.
every iteration, regardless of the version, cartoon or movie, it's always brown pants of some sort and a green top. I mean,
You can add the little hippie thing on the
Yeah.
side that he has or whatever, but other
the
than
real
that,
thing is the facial hair and demeanor and such, and the colors.
Yeah.
Or in like Daniel's case, playing Fred, they have a lot of variations of him, but it's always a certain style. He has to be kind of preppy and such. Where the gals in all of the iterations have been so varied over the years that as long as you have the colors, basically, you
That's
can
what
do
I
any of
was-
it. Where
Yes.
if I just wore a green tank top and brown shorts and didn't have facial hair or anything like that, it would just be a guy. Where
Yeah.
they go, oh, you kind of look like Velma, you kind of look like Daphne. There's a lot more play with the ladies, where the guys have to
Right.
kind of fit.
Well, in 2002 changed the whole concept. I think for a lot of the younger generation, you had Michelle Gellar, she was doing Daphne, and that was a total twist of
Yeah.
the
Character.
cartoon versus the real
Yeah.
life action
Yeah.
stuff. And so, I think it is broad for every character, and I think what we can do here is just kind of go out there and play with the dog and the van, and do some corny stuff, do some basic scenes that we've got on the internet, of them all in the front of the van together, and some side shots, and we can twist it up a little bit. I think we have the leeway to do whatever we want.
Right.
And that's the fun of doing stuff in the Rock Ranch studio, is that we own it. We do what we want.
You can
We
twist
have
it
fun.
how you like.
Daniel,
Mhm.
your idea is Fred.
Yes. I went very cartoony because I felt as the time went on with all the other Scooby Doo's that came out, they kind of just transformed them into before it was dude with ascot, white sweater, blue collared shirt. And then as the years went on, they kind of just started simplifying his outfit and kind of made him less like Fred. So unless I went fully devoted with the blonde hair and everything, it would be pretty obvious if I did the whole dye blonde. But I thought I should stay cartoony, because if I'm keeping my hair brown, then you have to be able to know that I'm Fred. And with a white shirt, collared shirt, with like a blue undershirt or something, you're not going to be able to know that it's Fred. Every Fred seems to have brown shoes, brown belt. It's like, okay, but now what? You have to somehow distinguish him from
Well-
everybody else in the world.
The orange ascot, nobody would ever wear that
Yeah.
unless you were Fred. So,
Yeah.
Some of the variations of Fred doesn't have the ascot,
Yeah.
but I think this is the defining feature that
Yeah.
makes him Fred.
When I got here, I was like, "That is pride. Like,
Yeah.
it's perfect."
Now, if we grunge it up a little bit, and then Daniel could take whatever off and use the blue shirt and maybe throw it around him or something. Do
Yeah,
some,
yeah.
if
Well,
we start grunging it up a little bit,
for
you're
doing-
kind of stuck.
If we're doing zombie apocalypse, you could take this and wrap it around an arm for
Yeah.
a zombie bite wound or something. But
Yeah.
But like I say, we have the freedom. Once we get our signature stuff, then we have the freedom that you guys can change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
We can kind of go from there. I don't want to pigeonhole everybody into a cartoon version of it all, especially with the van. The
Right.
van is, ugly and
But it's
rustic
moldable.
and whatever. But let's have some fun with it.
Yeah.
Now, Brian, what do you currently have? I want to bring that into this whole thing.
As far as the 79 Chevy short van,
Yeah, that's what I was at.
and we're gonna paint it like a patinaed mystery machine. So the paint will not be perfect. It'll still have rust in it. A mystery machine that sat out in the field for 30 years.
That's awesome.
Cool.
That's exciting, actually.
And I actually went and bought like 12 yards of turquoise fake fur for the interior.
No nice.
That's what I was saying.
Gosh.
The van once it
And the
left.
purples, like the dark, deep purples. Yeah.
Once the van left Brian, Brian's like, oh, I really still want to do the Scooby Doo van, and so, and I really didn't want to paint it, knowing we were drag racing and we were doing all these things, and I want it to be the ugly van. And even when we go to Woodburn, I go sign in. First thing they ask me, did you bring the van? And that's been the signature thing of being able to do everything with it. And now Brian's going on the other end. He wants to totally dedicate the van to being a mystery machine, and that's all right. So.
That's awesome.
You won't be able to go to the gas station without half an hour of chatting about it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It'll be fun.
that's
though.
gonna be cool.
Scott, what do you think?
A lot of fun. Reminds me of the old bell-bottom pants.
I would like to find brown bell bottoms like Shaggy has, but it's so hard to find
Few
that kind of
and
stuff.
Didn't he have corduroy?
Yeah.
Some it's corduroy,
Yeah.
some it has the flare though. I mean, it really is it's stylized because of the era. It's kind of like the ascot. It's like, who really wears bell bottoms or even corduroys really, or an ascot or.
Yeah.
They did back then.
They did back then, but to find it,
That was the fad.
not only find it, but also find it in a size I could wear makes it even harder. I mean, not only were these the only brown pants I could find that were under $30-$40,
Yep.
they were dress pants, and I was like, I just saw they were matched the waist. I didn't even care the length. I was like, I will make these work because they're so hard to find. Because nobody wears them,
Yeah.
really. It's not in style.
Well, now we're switching to the dog conversation. I've got my little Loki dog. He's a Mexican hairless, and no, he's not supposed to be Scooby. We know it. He's so small, but he's such a ham, and his tongue hanging out, and he's easy to deal with. And he's kind of like the van version of doing as many things as we can with him. I'm going to be doing that with Loki as much as we can, do things in the studio. So as we're doing shoots, he's not just going to be Scooby in this thing. We'll bring him up to do some, in photo stuff. So again, everything we do in Rock Run Studios is to have fun. We all are volunteering our time. Lacy and Brent here came in and do some of the IT stuff, and we appreciate it.
What, you guys aren't getting paid?
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So, and that's what this is all about, is Spokane Hot Rod taking a project, coming up with ideas, pulling people in to do it. Of course, we've got the studio where we can use, but, we may do it at somebody else's garage. We may do it at the park. We may do it at a car show, whatever. But it's all about having fun. And we can't have fun and get everybody volunteering and coming up with some great things, then why do it?
Yep.
start shooting for real here, so that's a real thing. Alright, so flash.
Oh.